Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today's message has been inspired by an absolutely beautiful client of mine who I've had the pleasure of getting to connect with each week, but definitely our session this morning has really been the inspiration for today's message, which is that sometimes our greatest gifts are disguised in our greatest sources of pain. You may have heard the expression of gifts wrapped in sandpaper, one that I absolutely love and completely resonate with. And this is really what I wanted to talk into with you guys today, because so many of us, we struggle with this hurt, this pain from our past in different relationships. And you know, we oftentimes we know exactly what that person needs to do in order to help us out of our dark place in terms of helping us relinquish the pain and hurt that we've been holding on to. But ultimately, what I want us to get to a point of is, instead of putting all of our power into an external source, that of which we cannot control, is in fact to actually recognize, that sometimes, particularly if this is a hurt or pain that we've been carrying around for a long period of time, we need to recognize that us holding on to this and expecting another person to be our sole savior is actually not going to get us there. We haven't got the result this far. Nothing's going to change. We have to get to a point in our lives where we need to take full ownership. Although it would be so beautiful to be able to get that person to change and give us what we know we need from them, we can't control it. And the sooner we get outside of expecting that and trying to run that same pattern of we can't let go until they show up and they give us this thing and they acknowledge and understand us, or whatever our story is, until we get out of that and we actually recognize that, okay, I need to take control here. I need to bring the power back into myself, the only thing that I can control. And ultimately, I need to recognize what I'm missing here. What do I need? What am I expecting from this other person to give me so that I can move on and be free? And I need to identify what that is and ultimately go on the journey of giving that to myself. No easy feat, I definitely know that, but it does shine a lot of light on the areas in which that we have been kind of disowning within ourselves. We've been handballing the responsibility of our happiness, fulfillment to another source, and ultimately, we're just continuing to disempower ourselves. And at some point, we need to recognize that until I take on this responsibility, nothing's going to change. In fact, I'm only going to, really dig into the little self-belief and love for myself that I currently have, and the last little piece of trust that I have within myself. And ultimately, we have to go on that journey for ourselves. But why this message is all really about our greatest gifts sometimes being disguised in our greatest sources of pain. Oftentimes, if we are seeking something in an external source, say there's somebody who we are seeking for them to actually, take responsibility for the hurt that they have caused us in our lives. And that's the thing that we're holding on to. If only that person would, tell me that they understand my perspective, that they are, regretful and sorry for the pain that they have caused, for their poor behavior, for their poor treatment, whatever it is. And we've put all this power in this other person to actually do that. And I want you guys to really think about the patterns in your life, particularly in our relationships, where that's been a continuous pattern. It might be this person, if only they would take responsibility, or with this person, if only they would just kind of, step up or let us be all of who we are, or whatever the thing is, until we recognize that we're the common denominator in those circumstances where we're continuing to disempower ourselves, where we're actually not getting the lesson, and the lesson is where the gift is. So if we can identify what we're seeking in another that will make us feel perfect again, then ultimately we can take the power back by giving that to ourselves. So this beautiful client that I've been working with, today we actually uncovered that based on 2 of her past relationships, you know, one of the relationships, what she really was yearning for in that relationship was the freedom to be all of who she was without judgment. And then the second relationship was her yearning for that person to step up and take responsibility for their lives. And ultimately, what that allowed her to, what we sort of uncovered and allowed us to sort of get clarity over, the greatest gifts that have been given to her from those past relationships, where those people didn't give her what she wanted. You know, that first relationship didn't give her the freedom to be all of who she was without judgment. And the second relationship didn't take responsibility for life, you know. And so because they didn't do the things that she really was yearning for them to do, they in fact gave her the greatest gifts possible, which were to take ownership over what she needs to own within herself. So the gift from the first relationship was, I need to give myself full freedom to be all of who I am. And in that second relationship, I need to take full responsibility for my own life. Now, all of a sudden, those 2 things that were the greatest sources of pain have now been her greatest gifts, because they have shone light on the pathway towards her empowerment. And that's really what I wanted to say on top of this, is that ultimately the greatest gift, or one of the greatest gifts that another can give us, is to shine light on our pathway to empowerment and make us walk that journey alone. Because if they give us what we think we need, we don't need to grow. We don't need to change. We can continue to seek that validation or that power from somebody else to do that for us, you know, rather than the growth that comes with taking full ownership and responsibility for our lives and giving ourselves full freedom to be all of who we are. So I am absolutely hoping that today's message is resonating with some of you guys. I know that we can get so caught up and you know, in these relationship dynamics where we feel like we've been so hurt, and if only that person would take responsibility and take ownership and tell us, hey, I understand why you feel the way that you feel, and that was my wrongdoing, and I apologize for that. And you know, whatever we think we want to hear from that person, to actually, you know, recognize that them not doing what we think we need them to do in order to be happy is forcing us to walk our path of empowerment alone, which is the only true way that we grow and develop through true empowerment of the self. We actually need them to not dive into the things that we want them to do, because we need to get to a place where we do that for ourselves, so that ultimately we can come to any relationship dynamic with, you know, a wholeness that it's not needing you to be a certain way. It's completely centered within the self, but it knows the power of expanding and magnifying human emotion with connection with another whole human being. So really hoping that this is resonating. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Drop them below. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, make sure that you come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. We are waiting for you to come and join this extraordinary community of people who are reaching new heights of their limitless potential. And I am going to jump into the reel now and definitely check out who's been able to join me. And I've got Jamie and Josie and Frank and Mick and Judy and Eddie and Jeremy and Richard and Darren and Kelly and Jim and Eddie and Robin and Kay and Eric and Nathan. Awesome, guys. I love having all of you here. And yeah, so okay, I love it. And Phil and Safon and Salif and all right, and Renee's here, and Jason, and Jennifer, Elliot, and Rim, and Melissa, awesome to see you, and Firoz, and Andrew, and Alexandria's here, I love it, and Raul, and Jennifer, and Ekam, and Dustin, and Leica, and Alonia, and Simona. My gosh, there's so many of you here, guys, today, and Victoria, and Bogdan, and Eddie, and Samir, and I can't say your name, but I'm so grateful that you're here. And Heinz and Victoria and Danielle and Klaus and Eric, thank you so much to you. You are a beautiful human being. So I really hope that today's message is resonating with you. It's got you thinking about those pains, those hurts, those things that we hold on to in our relationships. And it's actually putting you in a place of empowerment where you no longer seeking to be met with somebody else having to do or say something that will finally free you and get you moving in the direction of your next level of your potential. And ultimately, it's you taking back the power and recognizing the gift that those people are giving you by not giving you what you think you need, and instead you going on that journey of empowerment by giving yourself exactly what you need, filling yourself up first and foremost to get to a whole-centered place of being so that you can enter an extraordinary quality of relationship, and also reminding yourself that we're all human beings on the human experience where we are all just dealing with our own fears, insecurities, all the rest of it. So give each other a break, give yourself a break, and give them a break as well. We're all, when we're stuck in that mode of not being able to give love to one another, it's because we're in scarcity, because we're so trapped in our own fears that our tanks are completely empty and we don't have anything to give. So stop, take your power back, generate that within, and move in the direction of your next level of your highest potential. And guys, I am sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. Day or night, I hope it's awesome and amazing, and I hope you're doing something extraordinary. And I'm sending you all of my love, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Much love.